Welcome to Natchez Trace State Park, located just outside of Jackson, Tennessee. Now, I'm a native Memphian in the southwest corner of the state, and this is a regular park for people in my area to go to. What's interesting is I've been to this park several times in my life. Never really wowed me, was kind of mid-range, but going back this year gave me a fresh perspective on one, how grand and beautiful the park is, and number two, the recent updates that they've made to it to make it pretty spectacular. So we're going to begin today's review, as we do with each one, with natural beauty and wildlife. There is no shortage of animals, plants, anything for a nature lover to enjoy. I loved exploring God's creation here at the park. All different types of beautiful trees and flowers and wildlife, fungi and mushrooms everywhere, and lots of things evolving around the water. There are several lakes, streams throughout the park. The only thing it's lacking is mountains, but I'm going to go ahead and give natural beauty an 8 out of 10. All right, we are about a mile and a half or so through the Cub Lake Trail, and I found the pull off here for the Backcountry camping site. It looks really cool. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what I'm looking at. So I've probably done backcountry camping at state parks maybe like 10 times, and there's probably 4 or 5 times where I shot footage of me camping there, and so you can see the playlist for more information about that. But this is really all that you need for backcountry sites. Just a covered area and a flat area. That's pretty much it. And this is a really beautiful spot. I really like the setup that they have here. They have 4 bunk beds back here where you can literally just put your sleeping bag down and go to bed. They have some platforms where you can put your gear and lay everything out for cooking. It's like a little table area. There's 2 of those. They have a nice open area to the sky so you can see things at night like shooting stars and just kind of stargazing in general. And then they have this fire pit right here with some logs for people to sit on. That's really all that you need when it comes to backcountry camping, especially at a state park. It does not have to be complicated, just enough to give you some comfort, but also feel like you are in the middle of nowhere. So this is a really great spot, I think, for backcountry hiking and camping, because it's only like a couple of miles and it's a really great spot. How good is the backcountry camping? Well, I just walked away from it and I started thinking in my mind how I can come back to camp there. So if it makes me want to go backcountry camping, it's a good sign that it's a good spot. Up next is campsite layout. There's actually a ton of camping options here at Natchez Trace. This campground is the one that I've stayed at maybe 3 or 4 times before, and is the original campground at the lake closer to the entrance of the park. And while it is maybe a little outdated, it did have all of your regular amenities. Our 20-foot camper was able to connect to the grid easily. There's fire rings and lantern holders, picnic tables, all of your normal camping amenities are there. They also have a brand new campground located on the far back end of the park. It's a good 20-minute drive or so through the park to get to it. And I've never camped here before, but it looked like a really great place. They also have cabins that you can rent. So between all of the varying ways you can camp, I'm going to give campsite layout a perfect 10 out of 10 score. I'm here at the RV campground. I didn't even know this was here. Every time I've camped here, which has probably been 3 or 4 times in my life, I've been at the, I guess now old campground. This newer campground, the roads are paved, which is great for kids, scooters, bicycles, things like that. It's more open, not as many trees, so you don't quite have the old, like, rustic feel of old school camping, but the bathrooms here were super nice and would definitely look forward to that. But there is like a ton of sun. You can see it on my face right now because there's not a lot of trees. So a little closer together the campsites are, but a little bit nicer, more open, more sunlight. But I like the old trees personally. And there's a few spots that are actually right by the big lake, which is really cool too. You could pull your boat right up to your camping spot. So I need to come back here and camp here. It's a little bit nicer, but not as much of an old school feel, if that makes sense. Up next is activities, which is worth a possible 20 points. They had several playgrounds throughout the park, some of them newer, some of them older, but still a lot of fun for the kids to enjoy. And of course, there's plenty of hiking. We went on about a 3 or 4 mile hike around the lake. It was absolutely beautiful. And you have all your lake activities like the beach that you can see right here in this drone shot that I got, as well as canoeing, kayaking, fishing, all of that type of stuff. However, part of the park is closed during the winter, which kind of stinks. I'm down here at the Pin Oak Lake, which is the big lake here at Natchez Trace, and I'm reminded of how massive this state park is. I'm talking at least 20 miles of driving to get across it. I mean, you kind of get off I-40, you're right there, you're like, cool, I'm at the entrance to the park, and then you just keep on driving and come back down here. I'm here the first weekend of September, just after Labor Day, and the lodge and restaurant and all that stuff down here is closed, and the boat ramp is open, and I'm here on a Saturday, and there is literally not a single person on the lake. So I now know next time, if I can get a hold of a kayak or something, bring that with me, and I'm gonna have the whole lake to myself, and I bet the fishing is pretty good. Okay, that was a really pleasant surprise. I don't know what I was expecting, but that archery range was really cool. They had turkey, deer, coyote, all sorts of animals that you could target practice at. That sounds super fun and really cool. I have a crossbow, paid a lot of money for, and I've zeroed in the scope and everything, and I've yet to kill anything with it. And if I lived close by here, man, I'd be out here all the time practicing for deer season and turkey season for that matter too. This is a really cool spot. I'm here on a Saturday and there's nobody here. You'd have the whole place to yourself. Really, really cool. I'm going to give activities a solid 17 out of 20. Up next is restrooms. Throughout the park, they were perfectly serviceable, but here, the footage I'm showing you right now are restrooms on the new side of the campground, and look at this. I mean, it's pretty immaculate for a Tennessee state park. Now, let me just tell you, one of the best things were these benches. It sounds silly, I know, but I have put clothes on a wet floor after a shower dozens of times at Tennessee State Park, so it gets an 8 out of 10 for restrooms. Up next is drivability. You're on the west side of the state, which kind of stinks, but you're literally right off Interstate 40, and so it gets a 7 out of 10. Up next is staff. The limited interaction that I had was pleasant. The lady there at the Welcome Center, so I'm going to give staff a 7 out of 10. And up next is nearby amenities. Now, the lodge is closed during the winter, but they had a food truck, camp store, all sorts of other things. It gets a 9 out of 10. Up next is uniqueness. I thought it was beautiful, located right there on several lakes, and it gets a 7 out of 10. And finally, it is cost. Right in line with other state parks, a great value, and gets a 7 out of 10. You put everything together, and Natchez Trace State Park gets an 80 out of 100, which is so unique to get in the 80s.